We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. And this is our podcast. And I have the pleasure of my other host joining us. And I want to introduce you, Megan from South Africa, um, Raksha from Miami, and she's global, and Jackie Zaccoli from Arizona. And her heart's in Africa and all over the place. She runs GIN, which is a global impact network. And I'm Carol Witt, and I am from Florida. However, my heart is in Africa, and we just went into 63 countries. So we have the pleasure of another amazing guest. Wait for her story. Permelia, please come join us and share.
Thank you so much, Carol, and it's delightful to be here today. So you've mentioned where everybody was from, so I just want to let our listeners know I'm on the west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island, and I am so delighted to be here and to be part of the this fabulous global empowering women across the world, because we definitely need it. So yes, I have been a holistic practitioner for a little over 10 years. I was studying actually holistic ways to be well for myself personally, well over 20 years ago. And of course, at that time, I had no clue that I was actually going to end up in this position doing what I'm doing, because at the time I was trying to find my joy. I'd lost my joy, and so I was trying to find it. And the saying is when the student's ready, the teacher appears. Well, that's definitely happened for me. And I met a beautiful woman who taught me all about energy healing. I hadn't really. She gave me the language so I could explain how I felt and who I was. I'd always been a very sensitive child. I'd always picked up on other people's energy, but I didn't even know what that was. So I studied under her for 8 years, and she gave me the language, as I said, and also gave me some tools to use on how to balance my energy, ground my energy, balance my chakras, realign my beliefs. And because I studied with her, and I got my joy back. And so I had moved to Vancouver Island, where I live now. And I was working at a resort, and one of my colleagues said to me one day, "What's with you? Like, you're always so happy." I said, "Well, I do an energy balance before I come to work." I was a hostess in the dining room. And so they all kind of looked at me very odd and said, "Well, what's that?" So I said, "Well, it's a technique that I learned from my energy teacher." And they said, "Oh, well, could you teach it to us?" So when I talked to my energy teacher, the next time I was back in the previous city where I had studied with her, I said, "Well, obviously what you said, that I was going to start to do something like this, is coming true." So her prediction was coming true, because when I was leaving, I said how much I was going to miss her, and she said, "Oh no, you're going to be doing something like this where you're moving to." And I kind of looked at her strangely and said, "I'm going to what?" But because of who I was from the inside out, and that's the main reason why I wanted to start to work with her, was because I knew I had to find that joy from the inside. I wasn't going to find it from anything from the outside of me. So then that progressed to me teaching out of my home, my coworkers, all of the techniques and that my energy teacher had given me carte blanche to teach everybody what I had learned from her. And so that's how I started my first company, which is called Vibrational Healing, which I still use to do all the modalities that I've learned. And one of the modalities that I've learned since I left, since I stopped studying with her, is the body code. And that's a beautiful, fabulous modality because it really looks at any emotions that could be trapped in the subconscious. And it was created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. So people are looking for what that is. They can check that out. It's called there's the emotion code, the body code. Now I believe there's a belief code, and it was all created by Dr. Bradley Nelson, and he really had a global vision to certify practitioners like myself all over the world so that we could help people who were struggling with all kinds of health, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. This is looking at these balls of negative energy. He kind of describes them as these balls are about the size of your fist, and they can be trapped in your subconscious. And sometimes we don't even know. There's different kinds of trapped emotions. There's emotions that we could have inherited. There's one that's called prenatal, which means something was going on with your mother when she was pregnant with you, and you got the trapped emotion. I never think that's fair, but that is one of the trapped emotions. There's other ones that are part of a heart wall where our subconscious will put up an invisible wall to protect us. But if we get those emotions trapped in that wall, that will then that can create all sorts of issues with relationships, all different kinds of relationships, and also success in life. So we definitely want to be able to be as healthy as we possibly can. So fast forward now towards 2019, the fall of 2019, I was looking around my small city where I live, and I was going to open like a practice of some kind. It was going to be more for the community to use. And where I live here on Vancouver Island in Canada is a very beautiful energetic vortex here. And so we have a lot of practitioners that are here. I mean, we always knew that those of us that lived here was absolutely fabulous. We loved it. And so I thought I was at different psychic fairs and wellness fairs and health expos. And so I'd go around and ask the vendors if they had a building or they had somewhere that had, a place they could do their yoga retreats or do their workshops. Would that be something that they'd be interested in? And everybody was like, oh, yes, because we're tired of meeting our clients at coffee shops and not everybody always feels comfortable having people in their home. So that's what I was doing in the fall of 19, just to give everybody kind of what was happening. And then, of course, we know what happened in 2020. And so all of a sudden now we're all at home. We're all locked down. We'd all learned Zoom because up to that point, I think we had Skype. But, so I had always seen my clients in person. Now I'm seeing them. I'm actually doing phone calls. I'm seeing them over Zoom. And the beautiful thing about energy work, which I know you ladies know this, is that it's everywhere. Like it doesn't matter if you're seeing a client over the phone or you're doing a session over Zoom. It's the same as just seeing them in person because energy is energy. And so a lot of people, that was always my first question. Well, does it work the same? The first question people would ask me, and I'm like, well, yes, because, we actually have a vibratory grid that goes completely throughout the whole world. So yes, we do have energies everywhere. And all of the work that I do can be done either in person, over the phone, or via Zoom. So at the same time, there was these amazing networking platforms that started to show up. That's where I met Megan at one of the South African networking platforms that I had been introduced to by a North American, Canadian networking platform, to women that started that. And so my idea of having this building here on Vancouver Island just got bigger, the whole concept and the idea of having a more global reach. And I was working with an amazing coach at the time, and she saw my vision and she said, I said, look at all the amazing practitioners I'm meeting all over the world. There was another networking platform from Ireland. There was a couple from the United States. There was a couple more that I was meeting, holistic practitioners in Canada. And that's why I say I feel I was divinely guided to actually make this a larger enterprise than just a local, for the local practitioners. So that's how the Healing Institute was created, and I'm calling it an institute. I want people to understand that. I know sometimes it gets confusing because people think I'm putting on courses and classes, but the reason I called it an institute is because I'm very passionate about educating people about how to be well and how to stay well. And so the Healing Institute is, right now we're in 5 countries. We actually, when I was doing our beta test, we were in 8 countries and I had 30 practitioners. Things have, shifted a little bit, just like that happens in life. So at this point in time, we're looking at a number we're wanting to grow, and that's why I'm so delighted to be part of this group. Because we really want to make an impact on health and healing in the world. And we really want to give people hope. We want people to know that there are ways to be well and stay well on their health journey, because let's face it, we're all on a health journey. And I like to say, well, let's make it a proactive one. We've been a reactive illness society for way too long. Let's make it a proactive wellness society. And let's gather as many people as we can to help us do that.
Wow. So excited that you found us. Yeah, we want you to be everywhere. So we will definitely be sharing your episode with many, many, many out there on LinkedIn and all of our social media.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much for what you do and how you saw the need and want to take it everywhere. Thank you. Okay, we have Jackie. She has her hand up and has a question. Jackie. There you are.
Of course, I love everything that you're doing. And the more that you tell us exactly what you're doing, it gets even deeper. And I keep thinking of different people that you need to meet. However, my question to you is I'm trying to get a grip exactly on how this all works. And by that, I mean, you have people that are, so to speak, with the Institute itself, they are, so to speak, contracted with you at a certain amount of time to be with you, and then you promote all of their services? Or is this all just a huge network that you've compiled from all the groups that you are with, and you're kind of working with them? Give us a little more depth on that.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. That's a great question. So we are a platform. It's not a network. My holistic practitioners pay a membership fee. At the moment, we have a search bar. We're working on upgrading the website, so we'll actually have a directory list. Because to find us or to find a practitioner to work with, you would have to put something in that search bar that you had an issue with. So like pain or stress or anxiety or sleep.
Okay.
People apparently aren't sleeping. So when you put in the word in the search bar, what happens is then the practitioners that are in the back end of the website that can help with that issue, they will come up. And then there's a way of learning more about them. There's a view more button because it's just a small little square with their picture. And the view more button then brings up their full profile and then gives you a whole idea about what they offer, the descriptions of their modalities, and then you can book with them. So when you hit the book button, that takes you to another page that takes you to their calendar. And everybody has a 30-minute complimentary information session, because I truly believe, and we all believe, that You have to have a conversation before you know how you can help this person.
Mhm.
So then if they decide they would like to work with that holistic practitioner, what they offer and the price point is there. It's on another button. So they just need to click on that. Again, that goes to their calendar. They can book in the time with on the calendar, and then the payment goes into the Healing Institute bank account, and then we pay out the practitioners from there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful.
So are you wanting more in there, or how many practitioners do you have at this stage?
Yes, just now we're a very small group. We're just getting going again. So we only have 5 of us. So yes, want more practitioners. Also want lots of people coming to the website and checking out the practitioners and booking with them. That's another piece that we're looking at improving, because we are getting people to the website. Yet they're just not engaging with the practitioners. So that's another piece that we're working on.
Yeah, well, it would seem really logical because we have, between Carol and I, we probably have at least 20 people that would be good to be able to be part of something like that. And I would imagine the more global, the better, because so that is globally focused, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
We are an online worldwide hub. Absolutely.
Wow.
So like, for instance, if you have empowerment coaches, of which there are probably hundreds of different varieties thereof with the same concepts, they just all present themselves at one point, and maybe somebody says that they're disempowered, or they have the imposter syndrome, or whatever their dis-ease is. So then at that point, they are bombarded, or at least made aware of all those in the same category. So you don't have any funneling per category, you might have more.
At this point in time, all we have is these keywords that are in the back end of all of the practitioners' profiles. So when people type in that keyword, that's when the practitioner's profile will show up.
Pop up. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
And
question.
just to be clear, so practitioners are listening, we don't have any restrictions.
Okay.
So, I believe that we need to have just as many hypnotherapists that we can possibly carry, just as many. I have a fabulous Egyptian Reiki healer, another wonderful woman who's a conscious breathing facilitator, and she also helps women who've been in the corporate world and are burnt out. So because the reason I don't have any restrictions on how many we have, because we want to serve the world. So, somebody who's working in the Western Hemisphere, on the Western side of North America, it may be more advantageous for them to look after this side of the world. People on the east side of North America, or in South Africa, or in Europe, will be the time zone, will definitely be better for them to. And doesn't mean that they can't work, they can work out the time zone, but yes.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right. So one of YEA's pillars is visualization. And I always like to hear what our guests have in store, have as a visualization of what it looks like in like 5 years from now. What do you want your Healing Institute to look like? Where is it going? Who's it going to reach and touch? And how is it going to impact many lives?
Oh, thank you for that question. Yes, my vision is that we will be in 20 plus countries in 5 years. We'll have over 200 plus practitioners. We want to be serving as many people as we possibly can. Our motto is service with love. Our motto is service with love. And we want to be able to serve as many people from a health point of view as we possibly can.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love your vision. And I think that's very, very doable, especially inside of what Jackie and I do. So thank you, Permelia. Does anybody else have a question for Permelia before okay, Megan, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Amelia. Thank you for sharing your story. And I take it from myself and from people around me, the experience with natural healing, energy healing, etc. A lot of people are still very caught up in the current Western medicine and their way of doing things. How would you best advise people to start exploring your space and the energy healing space in particular? Because I know there are a lot of people curious about it, but I think they've been misinformed on many levels about what it actually is and how it can positively affect you. And so I'm just wondering, what kind of advice do you have for someone who's standing on that brink and not sure if they are quite ready to jump down that rabbit hole or curious about it and just afraid to take that step? How would you convince them that this is something worth looking at?
Oh, I love that question. Thank you. So one of the things I do want to make, I do want people to know is that I see the Healing Institute as a bridge between the allopathic medical model that we've had for the last 50 odd years and the holistic, which is coming. There's just so many amazing holistic practitioners out there and holistic healers. So I would encourage anyone to hop onto a complimentary session with any and all of our practitioners. They would then be able to get a very good idea about what that practice is about, what that actually holistic modality, how it might be able to help them. And the other thing is, I always encourage people, whether you come to the Healing Institute site or not, be curious. Be curious. Do your homework. Ask questions. Find out the information. Whatever it is that you're looking at, and I especially encourage people who are being offered a medical medicine of some kind. Do your research. Find out what the side effects are. And I didn't mention this in my presentation, but my backstory is about my mom, who passed away at a very young age at 61 because of a medication she'd been on for a very long time. And we didn't know that being on that medication for a long period of time, like 20 years she was on this medication, was actually going to compromise her kidneys. So she passed away at a very young age. She was 61, which is young in these days. And I was 5 months pregnant with my son. So, I say it's not only a tragedy that she died so young, but my children didn't get to know their grandmother. And I just don't want that happening for any other families.
Okay, we have one last question, and that is Raksha. Go ahead, Raksha.
Yeah. So what I wanted to know was, do you have restrictions on the type of healers that you will include on your directory? And what is the process for them to apply to be with you?
Fabulous. Thank you for asking that question. Yes. So I have an onboarding process that I take all of my practitioners through, or anybody who's looking to be part of the Healing Institute. I've usually met with them. I've met them usually in a networking platform, so I've got an idea about who they are. But I have an 8-page fillable PDF that I send people. It gives me an idea about them, about their modalities, the work they're doing. Some of the questions on that form is, have you ever recommended a client to another practitioner? Because I want them to know that that's what we look for. We look for people that want to be part of our community. And I will say, one of the reasons I say we're different from other wellness directories, because there's lots out there, is that we are a community. So we get to know each other. All the practitioners get to know each other. They have one-on-ones with each other. So when a client is coming to the Healing Institute, they get all of us. They may just choose, they might say, oh, body code work, that looks interesting. I think I'm going to have a session with Permelia. But in that session of discovery, of finding out about that client, I will then determine, I can then determine whether or not they would benefit from our other practitioners that are on the site. So the
Do you
onboarding.
have that available on your site? Like, can they apply through your site? How do they
Yes,
connect
we
with you?
have the onboarding questionnaire is not on the site, but there is a form for practitioners that they can fill out, which is an email that comes to me. And then I reach out to them immediately with my calendar link to book time to have a one-on-one with them, especially if I don't know them or haven't met them before. And then I take them again through the website because they haven't gone into the back end if they've just come to the website. So explain how it all works. And then I send them the onboarding questionnaire. Once they have returned the onboarding questionnaire, then we have another Zoom one-on-one, because one of my values is it has to be a win-win for everybody.
Right.
So it has to be a win-win for the practitioners, obviously for the clients, and for the company.
Right.
So I hope that answered your question.
It did. It did. I
You-
have a few people that are in that field.
Mhm.
So I was going to go ahead and share your link with them to say if they want to get on a directory, they can go
Yes,
through
that would
and
be
whatever your
fabulous.
process is.
Yeah,
Okay.
so once they go on the website, they just need to scroll down a little bit and they'll find the practitioner button. There's a client button and a practitioner button. And if they fill that out, then
Perfect.
that's an email that comes directly to me.
Wonderful. All right, Jackie, you're the
Yeah, I'll make it
last
real
one.
fast
Yeah.
because she really pretty much answered what I was going to say. And the point being that building alliances within the practitioners can be extremely powerful. And we might discuss offline how you can do that better. I've uncovered, Rockshot, just think how you could do all of that with the working genius as part of that. Would that be
Yeah.
cool or what? Yeah. So anyhow,
You know how my brain's working.
yeah, I know it. So anyhow, yeah, building teams within your team is very effective. So yeah, I thank you for being with us. It was amazing. And our challenge, Carol, is to figure out how to apply this more, how to apply this better to the underserved populations
I
that
know.
we are working with. And that's our challenge, is to figure that one out.
Although I want to introduce you to my director for Poland. He is all about mental health. And he
Fabulous.
has an organization that he is working with around mental health. So I will make sure you meet Lucas. He's powerful, powerful. So, and that's Poland. So are you in Poland now?
Not yet.
Oh, well, you will be. Okay.
Okay.
One more country, my dear. And
Yes.
I have a few other countries that I want to. Italy. I have somebody in Italy that is
Fabulous.
all about mental health also. So I will be sending some people to you, Permelia.
That would be fabulous. I'd greatly
Yeah.
do that.
Thank you so much for
Oh, you're
another amazing episode, guys. Guys, if you love these episodes, please subscribe to our channel. Share them with everyone so that so many more people will know about Permelia and the Healing Institute. And please make comments. Comments go a long ways. Make comments when you see something that you're interested in. And if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to one of us. We're all over LinkedIn. Please reach out to one of us and say, I'd love to be a guest. We'd love to hear your story. And guys, it's just about your story. There's nothing there's no script. It's just very authentic, and it comes from your heart, and it inspires many of us, not just here, but everywhere. So thank you again for another episode. Please, guys, let's thrive together and let's do it together. Let's do this together. Okay? Thank you. Bye, guys.
We stand